Two sports, both called football. One uses feet almost the entire game. The other barely uses feet at all. So how do they both end up with the same name? And here's the wild part. The sport that barely uses feet is actually the one Americans call football. That's not a mistake. That's just history being weird. And by the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly what makes these two sports different, why billions of people are obsessed with one of them, and why the other one fills stadiums the size of small cities. Let's start with the basics. Football, the kind the rest of the world plays, is the most watched sport on the planet. We're talking 5 billion fans. Not viewers, not followers. Fans. That's more than half the human population. The FIFA World Cup alone draws more viewers than the Olympics. Think about that for a second. The game is simple on the surface. 2 teams, 11 players each, 1 ball, 2 goals. You move the ball down the field, you try to put it in the net. You use your feet, your chest, your head, anything except your hands. Unless you're the goalkeeper, then hands are fine. The goalkeeper is the one player whose entire job is to stop the ball from going in. They're the last line of defense, and they can use their hands inside a box painted on the ground in front of the goal. Simple, right? Now here's what makes football different from everything else. There are no timeouts, no commercial breaks every 3 minutes. The clock runs for 45 minutes straight, twice. That's 90 minutes of nearly nonstop action. Players cover about 10 kilometers per game on average. Some midfielders run even more. It's an endurance sport disguised as a skill sport. Now let's talk about American football. Same name, completely different game. In American football, you also have 2 teams trying to score. But instead of a round ball and a net, you have an oval ball and end zones, painted areas at either end of the field. You score by getting the ball into the opponent's end zone. That's called a touchdown, and it's worth 6 points. Here's the first big difference. Players specialize. In football, the global kind, players play both offense and defense. A defender who loses the ball has to run back and defend. Everyone does everything. In American football, one group of players only attacks. A completely different group only defends. The 2 units literally swap on and off the field, depending on who has the ball. Some players play less than 10 minutes in an entire game. There are specialists just to kick the ball, specialists just to snap the ball, specialists just for one specific situation. And speaking of specialists, the quarterback. This is probably the most famous position in American sports. The quarterback calls the plays, handles the ball almost every single down, and is usually the highest paid player on the team. If football had a quarterback, it would be like the manager running onto the pitch to take every single touch. That doesn't happen. American football is built around one player making decisions for everyone else. Now here's something that surprises a lot of people. American football games are 3 hours long, but the actual ball-in-play time? About 11 minutes. The rest is huddles, ads, timeouts, and replays. 60 minutes on the clock. 3 hours in real life. 11 minutes of action. Compare that to football, the global version. So why does any of this matter? Because these 2 sports reflect completely different cultures. Football, the global version, was built for equality. You don't need equipment. You don't need a perfectly maintained grass field. You don't even need a real ball. Kids all over the world play it in streets, in fields, on rooftops. It costs nothing. That's why it's spread everywhere. Every continent, every country, every city has a football culture. American football was built for spectacle. The helmets, the pads, the complex formations, the broadcast-ready stoppages. It was designed to be watched on television. It works. The Super Bowl is still one of the most watched single sporting events in America every year. The production is incredible. The drama is engineered. One sport grew because it required nothing. The other grew because it delivered everything. So here's where we land. Football, the world game, is about flow, endurance, and improvisation. 90 minutes. No buts. Anything can happen. American football is about strategy, specialization, and set pieces. Controlled chaos, built for broadcast. Both are brilliant. Both deserve your attention. But they're completely different experiences, and now you know exactly why. The most popular sport on the planet uses feet almost the entire time. The sport named after feet barely uses them. That's the one fact from this video that should stick with you. If you're just getting into football, the world kind, subscribe. Because we're just getting started, and it only gets more interesting from here.